You can have results or excuses. Not both. You must see it. You must believe it. And then you must never stop working to make it happen. Confidence comes from victory, but strength comes from the struggle. Discipline is what you use when you don't want to do something, when you have to force yourself. Pain makes me grow. Growing is what I want. Therefore, for me, pain is pleasure. The wolf on the hill is not as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength. When your vision is powerful enough, everything else falls into place. How you live your life, your workouts, what friends you choose to hang out with, how you eat, what you do for fun. Vision is purpose, and when your purpose is clear, so are your life choices. Vision creates faith, and faith creates willpower. With faith, there is no anxiety, no doubt, just absolute confidence. Positive thinking can be contagious. Being surrounded by winners helps you develop into a winner. Just remember, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets. Just remember, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets. I've heard all my life that this is impossible, you can't make it and you're going to fail, but I didn't listen to them and I made it. Never follow the crowd. Go where it's empty. The mind is incredible. Once you've gained mastery over it, channeling its powers positively for your purposes, you can do anything. I mean anything. The secret is to make your mind work for you, not against you. This means constantly being positive. Constantly setting up challenges you can meet either today, next week, or next month. I can't should be permanently stricken from your vocabulary, especially the vocabulary of your thoughts. You must see yourself always growing and improving. If you don't find the time, if you don't do the work, you don't get the results. Self-confidence is something caught and not taught. And risk running and chance taking are the only ways to catch it. Vision creates faith, and faith creates willpower. With faith there is no anxiety and no doubt, just absolute confidence in yourself. Vision creates faith, and faith creates willpower. With faith there is no anxiety and no doubt, just absolute confidence in yourself. The secret is contained in a 3-part formula I learned in the gym: self-confidence, a positive mental attitude, and honest hard work. Don't be afraid to fail. Anything that I've ever attempted, I was always willing to fail. You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions. Create a vision of who you want to be, and then live into that picture as if it were already true. With strength and determination you can do anything you want in life, as long as you believe in yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. The greatest feeling you can get in a gym, or the most satisfying feeling you can get in the gym, is the pump. If I train the hardest, run the longest, go beyond what anyone else has the mental determination to do, I will be the winner. The secret of success is to make your mind work for you, not against you. This means constantly being positive, constantly setting up challenges you can meet either today, next week, or next month, etc. Good things don't happen by coincidence. Every dream carries with it certain risks, especially the risk of failure. But I am not stopped by risks. Suppose a great person takes the risk and fails. Then the person must try again. You cannot fail forever. If you try 10 times, you have a better chance of making it on the 11th try than if you didn't try at all. Vision creates faith, and faith creates willpower. People who say it is impossible should not interrupt those who are trying to make it possible. I will always stay hungry, never satisfied with current accomplishments. Money doesn't make you happy. I now have $50 million, but I was just as happy when I had $48 million. For me, life is about continuously being hungry. Its meaning is not simply to just exist or to survive, but to move ahead, to go up, to achieve, to conquer. Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength. We all have great power. That power is self-faith. There's really an attitude to winning. You have to see yourself winning before you win. And you have to be hungry. You have to want to conquer. The last 3 or 4 reps is what makes the muscle grow. This area of pain divides the champion from someone else who is not a champion. That's what most people lack, having the guts to go on and just say they'll go through the pain no matter what happens. In our society, the women who break down barriers are those who ignore limits. The mind always fails first, not the body. The secret is to make your mind work for you, not against you. Always have one possibility in mind, and that is to go to the top, to be the best. Everything else should just be a means to that end. Not every legend is a myth, some are flesh and blood. Some legends walk among us, but they aren't born, they're built. Legends are made from iron and sweat, mind and muscle, blood and vision and victory. Legends are champions, they grow, they win, they conquer. There's a legend behind every legacy, there's a blueprint behind every legend. If you want to turn a vision into reality, you have to give 100% and never stop believing in your dream. From the bodybuilding days on, I learned that everything is reps and mileage. The more miles you ski, the better a skier you become. The more reps you do, the better your body. Just like in bodybuilding, failure is also a necessary experience for growth in our own lives, for if we're never tested to our limits, how will we know how strong we really are? How will we ever grow? I was striving to be the most muscular man, and it got me into the movies. It got me everything that I have. When you're out there partying, horsing around, someone out there at the same time is working hard. Someone is getting smarter, and someone is winning. Just remember that. Where the mind goes, the body will follow. Concentrate on your goals. Do not allow other thoughts to enter your mind. If you allow them to, other things could take your concentration away from your ultimate aim. With my desire and drive, I definitely wasn't normal. Normal people can be happy with a regular life. I was different. I felt there was more to life than plodding through a normal existence. I'd always been impressed by stories of greatness and power. I wanted to do something special, to be recognized as the best. I saw bodybuilding as the vehicle that would take me to the top, and I put all my energy into it. I knew I was a winner back in the late 60s. I knew I was destined for great things. People will say that kind of thinking is totally immodest. I agree. Modesty is not a word that applies to me in any way. I hope it never will. We all have great inner power. The power is self-faith. There's really an attitude to winning. You have to see yourself winning before you win. And you have to be hungry. You have to want to conquer. Stay hungry, stay healthy, be a gentleman, believe strongly in yourself, and go beyond limitations. All I know is that the first step is to create a vision, because when you see the vision, the beautiful vision, that creates the want power. If I can see it and believe it, then I can achieve it. Milk is for babies. When you grow up, you have to drink beer. Desire something and don't just care what you have to go through to get it. Through discipline and determination, one can change anything and everything about him, his habits, his outlook on life. Look for small victories and build on that. Each small victory, even if it is just getting up 5 minutes earlier, gives you confidence. You realize that these little victories make you feel great, and you keep going. You realize that being paralyzed by fear of failure is worse than failure. The pain that you hold is yours. There is not a single pain quite like it. Nobody else on God's green earth can feel this pain, or have the indescribable feeling of pride you will have when you overcome it. This pain is not your curse. This pain is your privilege. What we face may look insurmountable, but I learned something from all those years of training and competing. I learned something from all those sets and reps when I didn't think I could lift another ounce of weight. What I learned is that we are always stronger than we know. The mind is the limit. As long as the mind can envision the fact that you can do something, you can do it, as long as you really believe 100%. The secret is contained in a 3-part formula I learned in the gym: self-confidence, a positive mental attitude, and honest hard work. Many people are aware of these principles, but very few can put them into practice. Every day I hear someone say, "I'm too fat. I need to lose 25 pounds, but I can't. I never seem to improve. I'd hate myself if I had that kind of attitude, if I were that weak. I can lose 10 to 40 pounds rapidly, easily, painlessly, by simply setting my mind to it. The resistance that you fight physically in the gym and the resistance that you fight in life can only build a strong character. Experiencing pain in your muscles and aching, that's what makes the muscle grow. And that divides one from being a champion and one from not being a champion. If you can go through this pain barrier, you may get to be a champion. If you can't go through it, forget it. If you want to be a champion, you cannot have any kind of an outside negative force coming in to deflect you. When I was 15 years old, I felt totally confident I would become a world champion and the greatest bodybuilder in the world. The same was true of show business. I knew that one day I would make more money than anyone else in the industry, and I did. For that, you need the willingness to work and do everything it takes to make the vision turn into reality. Normal people can be happy with a regular life, but there is more to life than just plodding through an average existence. You have to fight. You have to have courage for what you really want. 90% of the people don't realize that there is anything below the head. They think that the head is carried around by something very mysterious, and they're not aware that it's the body, something they should be in tune with. It all comes from the mind. I've seen the most incredible success stories because a person had a dream and it was so powerful no one could touch it. He'd feel it, believe it, think about it all day and night. That would inspire him to do things necessary to get the results he wanted. Be hungry for success, hungry to make your mark, hungry to be seen and to be heard and to have an effect. And as you move up and become successful, make sure also to be hungry for helping others. I remember one guy, Reg Park, a British bodybuilder, who entered Mr. Universe when he was very young. But he won it and continued to win it a second and third time. So, he was my idol. I read everything about Reg Park and followed his footsteps and trained like him. I said if he could make it, I could make it. It was a blueprint, basically, for how to get there, to win the championships. I'm a competitive bodybuilder. I'm not training just to be healthy. 95% of the people training with weights are into this health thing, and it's a different mentality entirely. So let me tell you, as you prepare to go off into the world, remember 6 rules. Trust yourself, break some rules, don't be afraid to fail, ignore the naysayers, work like hell, and give something back. There is nothing like chess to keep the brain smart, and give it a workout. There is nothing like chess to keep the brain smart, and give it a workout. I comfortably can say that I am a Republican, and I always will be a Republican because the Republican Party is a big tent and there was not always things that I agreed with or they didn't agree with me many times. But the fact of the matter is that's the philosophy, and everything that I've heard is exactly the same. Bodybuilding is much like any other sport. To be successful, you must dedicate yourself 100% to your training, diet, and mental approach. As long as I live, I will never forget that day 21 years ago when I raised my hand and took the oath of citizenship. Do you know how proud I was? I was so proud that I walked around with an American flag around my shoulders all day long. The general definition of being muscle-bound is that you have so many muscles that you can't move freely. I don't know of any bodybuilder in that category. In fact, many of them are quite active in other sports. When I was 15 years old, I took off my clothes and looked in the mirror. When I stared at myself naked, I realized that to be perfectly proportioned, I would need 20-inch arms to match the rest of me. Most bodybuilders only have a hazy notion of what they want to look like. They do not say, "I am going to be a winner." The negative impulses around the gym can be incredible. I would hear bodybuilders complaining, "Oh, no, not another set." That destroyed them. I have always believed that if you're training for nothing, you are wasting your effort. Experiencing this pain in my muscles and aching and going on is my challenge. The last 3 or 4 reps is what makes the muscles grow. This area of pain divides a champion from someone who is not a champion. That's what most people lack, having the guts to go on and just say they'll go through the pain no matter what happens. I have no fear of fainting. I do squats until I fall over and pass out. So what? It's not going to kill me. I wake up 5 minutes later and I'm okay. A lot of other athletes are afraid of this. So they don't pass out. They don't go on. Help others and give something back. I guarantee you will discover that while public service improves the lives and the world around you, its greatest reward is the enrichment and new meaning it will bring your own life. I think the first and most important thing is that you've got to have a goal and a vision. I love Thanksgiving turkey. It's the only time in Los Angeles that you see natural breasts. The unique thing about bodybuilding is that when I compete, it is just me on a stage alone. There is no field, no bat, no ball, no skis, no skates. All other athletes have to use equipment, like a football. But I don't use anything in competition except myself. It's just me up there. Me alone. No coach. No nothing. If I see a girl with big tits, I'm going to stare and stare. And I'm going to think in my mind what I'm going to do with her if I would have her. Having a pump is like having sex. I train 2, sometimes 3 times a day. Each time I get a pump, it's great. I feel like I'm coming all day. As you know, I'm an immigrant. I came over here as an immigrant, and what gave me the opportunities, what made me to be here today, is the open arms of Americans. I have been received. I have been adopted by America. Bodybuilders and fitness people have been using chiropractic very extensively in order to stay healthy and fit. I found it was better to go to a chiropractor before you get injured. We are a perfect team, the world of fitness and the world of chiropractors. I didn't leave bodybuilding until I felt that I had gone as far as I could go. It will be the same with my film career. When I feel the time is right, I will then consider public service. I feel that the highest honor comes from serving people and your country. I didn't leave bodybuilding until I felt that I had gone as far as I could go. It will be the same with my film career. When I feel the time is right, I will then consider public service. I feel that the highest honor comes from serving people and your country. I welcome and seek your ideas, but do not bring me small ideas, bring me big ideas to match our future. I believe with all my heart that America remains the great idea that inspires the world. It is a privilege to be born here. It is an honor to become a citizen here. It is a gift to raise your family here, to vote here, and to live here. People need to be insured so when you have an accident out there, or when something catastrophic happens to you, that you're covered and there's not someone else has to pay for you. That is as simple as that. As a kid, I always idolized the winning athletes. It is one thing to idolize heroes. It is quite another to visualize yourself in their place. When I saw great people, I said to myself, I can be there. It doesn't matter what party you come from. The key thing is that you work on behalf of the people rather than on behalf of the party. I do not make decisions based on what have I learned through my Bible studies, what have I learned in my religious classes in school. I'm a big believer in separation of church and state, and I think that's what the law is. The writing is important, but the way you say the line and the pause you give it, the facial expression, all of that is very important. When the people become involved in their government becomes more accountable, and our society is stronger, more compassionate, and better prepared for the challenges of the future. Everything that I've accomplished in life was because of America and because of California, so I should take 7 years out of my life to be a public servant and to serve the people of California regardless of the lack of pay. My only rule is to keep moving, for a pump and cardio at the same time. Rest as little as possible. After an hour, you will feel fantastic and your muscles won't know what hit them. My fellow Americans, this is an amazing moment for me. To think that a once scrawny boy from Austria could grow up to become governor of the state of California and then stand here. Then stand here in Madison Square Garden and speak on behalf of the President of the United States, that is an immigrant's dream. It is the American dream. The greatest feeling you can get in a gym, or the most satisfying feeling you can get in the gym, is the pump. It feels fantastic. It's as satisfying to me as coming is, you know, as in having sex with a woman and coming. So can you believe how much I am in heaven? I am like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage. When I pump up, when I pose out in front of 5,000 people, I get the same feeling. So I am coming day and night. It's terrific, right? So you know, I am in heaven. I'm obsessed with packing in as much work as possible during each day, simply because there is only so much time you have in a lifetime. There is nothing better than to go home at night and know that you've done everything that you could do to accomplish your work. There are some girls who are turned on by my body, and some others who are turned off. But for the majority, I just use it as a conversation piece. Like someone walking a cheetah down 42nd Street would have a natural conversation piece. Then when they get to talking to me, they see I am not mean but gentle to them, and that's all they want to know. Everything I have, my career, my success, my family, I owe to America. Those public employee union bosses think they already control the legislators. They already control everyone up there in Sacramento, and now, because they have the money, they want to control all of you. They want to raise your taxes. It's all going in that direction, raising your taxes. But I'm here as your warrior, remember that. I want to protect you. 69% of the people want our politicians to work together. And I think this should be a message to Democrats and Republicans to work together. And this is why people are very upset about Washington today. I think this is exactly where the action is in the middle. I have seen it when I was governor of the state of California. I have seen it firsthand that the only way we brought Democrats and Republicans together, we could really solve very important issues. I remember that's how we really started rebuilding California and invested $60 billion in infrastructure. The only way to be a champion is by going through these forced reps and the torture and pain. That's why I call it the torture routine. Because it's like forced torture. Torturing my body. What helps me is to think of this pain as pleasure. Pain makes me grow. Growing is what I want. Therefore, for me, pain is pleasure. And so when I am experiencing pain, I'm in heaven. It's great. People suggest this is masochistic. But they're wrong. I like pain for a particular reason. I don't like needles stuck in my arm. But I do like the pain that is necessary to be a champion. My friend James Cameron and I made 3 films together: True Lies, The Terminator, and Terminator 2. Of course, that was during his early, low-budget, art house period. You can't tell a kid that it's time to exercise. That's a turnoff. You have to say, let's go to the park and have some fun. Then you get them to do some running, play on the swings, practice on the balance beam, basically get a full workout disguised as play. I never set limits or created mental barriers. You may have read that I imagined my biceps as big as mountain peaks when I did my curling exercises. This visualization process was essential if I was to gain the kind of mass and size I needed to win the Mr. Olympia contest against monsters like Sergio Oliva and Lou Ferrigno.